In the heart of a dense forest, where the canopy was so thick that sunlight struggled to touch the ground, stood an old cabin. Its wooden walls were weathered by time, and its windows, clouded with the dust of neglect, seemed to hold the secrets of 100 years. The air was thick with the scent of moss and the whispers of leaves that spoke of unseen things lurking in the shadows. Anna, Bella, and Carrie, 3 friends bound by their love for adventure, had chosen this secluded spot for their vacation, seeking a respite from the clamor of city life. They approached the cabin with a mix of excitement and trepidation, their laughter echoing through the trees, unaware of the eyes that watched them from the darkness. As night fell, the forest grew silent, and the cabin became a beacon of light amidst the encroaching gloom. The friends settled in, unaware that this night would be unlike any other. For as the fire crackled and shadows danced across the walls, an unexplained tall man-like creature, with limbs too long and a gait too unnatural, began to emerge from the depths of the forest. The story of Anna, Bella, and Carrie was about to take a turn into the realm of the unexplained, where every creak of the cabin and rustle outside the window could be the harbinger of something sinister. And as the night wore on, the boundary between the known and the unknown would blur, leading to a chilling conclusion that would leave one of them missing, swallowed by the forest's eerie embrace. The night was young, but the darkness within the forest was ancient. As the trio settled around the fireplace, the flames casting a warm glow on their faces, they shared stories and laughed, their voices a stark contrast to the silence outside. But as the hours passed, a sense of unease began to creep into the cabin. The wind howled like a chorus of lost souls, and the trees seemed to lean closer, as if to listen. Bella, the most rational of the 3, tried to dismiss the growing dread as a trick of the mind. "It's just the forest," she said, her voice not quite convincing. Carrie, ever the believer in the supernatural, wasn't so sure. She clutched her blanket tighter, her eyes darting to the windows where the shadows played. Anna, the bravest, stood up and peered into the darkness. "There's nothing out there," she declared, but her words faltered when she saw it, a tall, man-like silhouette standing at the edge of the clearing. The creature was motionless, but its presence was as tangible as the fear that now gripped them. It was too tall to be human, its limbs elongated and its head tilted at an impossible angle. The friends huddled together, watching as the figure slowly vanished back into the forest. They tried to convince themselves it was a trick of the light, a shadow cast by the moon, but the seed of terror had been planted. As the night deepened, strange occurrences began to unfold. Objects moved without explanation. Soft whispers echoed through the cabin, though no one was speaking. The fire, once a source of comfort, flickered erratically, as if struggling against an unseen force. The friends clung to each other, their earlier excitement replaced by a primal fear. In the early hours of the morning, when the boundary between night and day is at its thinnest, Anna decided to confront their fears. She stepped outside, the cold air biting at her skin, and called out to the forest. "Show yourself," she demanded, her voice echoing into the void. There was no reply, only the rustling of leaves and the distant cry of an owl. Determined to prove there was nothing to fear, Anna ventured further into the trees. Bella and Carrie watched from the window, their hearts racing. They saw Anna stop and look back, a reassuring smile on her face. But then, the smile faded, her eyes widened in horror, and she was gone, swallowed by the darkness. The creature that haunted the forest where Anna, Bella, and Carrie sought their ill-fated adventure was not merely a man-like figure, it was a being of ancient malevolence, a demon whose very essence was woven into the fabric of the woods. Its towering form was a grotesque mockery of human shape, with limbs that twisted and stretched in unnatural ways, as if sculpted by a mad artist. Its skin was the color of the moonless night, a seamless cloak that absorbed light and hope alike. Its eyes, if they could be called that, were 2 glowing embers set deep within a face that was all sharp angles and elongated features. They burned with a hunger that was not of this world, a craving for the lifeblood that coursed through the veins of the living. The creature moved with a silence that belied its size, a predator perfected through eons of hunting its prey. As it emerged from the shadows, the air grew cold, and the very earth seemed to recoil in fear. The trees bent away from it, and the creatures of the forest fell silent, for they knew the ancient horror that walked among them. It was a demon of the old world, a remnant of a darker age when such beings roamed freely, feasting upon the terror in the flesh of mortals. The Friends had unwittingly trespassed into its domain, and now it stalked them, a specter of death cloaked in the guise of night. Its intentions were as clear as the chilling smile that seemed to play upon its lips, a smile that promised pain and a fate far worse than death. It was ready to claim them, to drag them into the abyss from which there was no escape. The demon was patient, for it knew that fear was a delicacy best savored slowly. And as it watched the Friends, its hunger grew, a ravenous maw that would not be sated until it had consumed them, until the forest was once again silent, and another soul was missing, lost to the eternal hunger of the creature in the cabin in the remote forest. Bella and Carrie rushed out, calling her name, their voices desperate. But the forest offered no clues, no trace of their friend. The tall man-like creature was nowhere to be seen, and as the first light of dawn broke through the trees, they were left with the haunting realization that Anna had vanished without a trace. The police would later search the area, but the mystery of Anna's disappearance remained unsolved. The cabin stood silent, a sentinel to the unknown, and the forest kept its secrets, as it always had. And so ends the chilling tale of Anna, Bella, and Carrie. A story of friendship and fear, of the unexplained and the unseen, and a reminder that some mysteries are best left undiscovered.